Ja, hallo.
So
Ich
I've
habe Manuel
just
Neuer eben auch
asked
schon die
Manuel
Frage
Neuer,
gestellt, auf
who
was und
do you
auf
have
wen
to
musst du
be very
besonders aufpassen bei dieser
careful, who
Celtic-Mannschaft?
have to pay attention? I think
Ich glaube, wir
we're,
spielen
that we're
grundsätzlich gegen eine
playing against
Mannschaft,
a team
die Gewohnheit
that
hat, viel zu
is
gewinnen,
used to winning a
viel
lot
ins
and
Offensive zu
who
entschieden
are
und
good offensively.
Spiele, die
So
fünf Spiele,
the
die
five
vorher
players,
dabei
there are
sind,
five
das
offensive
Ability
players.
to
They're
go sein,
they're used to
Tore zu machen
scoring
und zu
goals,
treffen und
and
dieses Vertrauen
they
nimmst du
just
immer
take
mit
that
auch in
belief, that
große
trust
Spiele.
into
Und
games, even into big games.
manche Sachen machst
And
du vielleicht ein
sometimes you
bisschen
do
weniger,
things
das heißt, du
a bit
verteidigst
less.
vielleicht weniger tief in deine eigene
Defend.
Liga.
You don't defend as deep in your
Aber
own league.
trotzdem,
But
dieses Gefühl habe
I
ich immer gegen
always had
Mannschaften oder Vereine, die sehr
um,
dominant sind in ihre eigene Liga, dass die vorm Tor, dass sie das auch
in their
haben.
own league
Und ja,
that
sie kennen ja die
they
offensive Spiele
so we know
von
how
Celtic
they
und
play.
ich gehe
So
davon aus, dass die auch denken, dass das eine
I
Stärke
think
ist.
that is one of their strengths.
Vielleicht daneben Manuel Bunke für Merkur und TZ.
Hallo Vincent.
Vincent.
Vincent, mit
Hiroki
Hiroki Ito
Ito
ist
is
jetzt wieder ein neuer
another
Spieler
defender
hinzugekommen.
who is
Wie
back.
ist denn
What's
seine
his
Rolle? Geht es jetzt nur
role?
darum, dass er mal dabei
Is
ist,
he
wieder
just here
reinschnuppert?
so that
Oder kann er
he
sich ja auch ja so ein bisschen vielleicht auch auf
adapts,
Pausenspieler, auf
or
Spielzeiten
could
auswirken?
he
Also
get some playing time
was
soon?
macht dir
And
für einen
what's
Eindruck
your
jetzt?
impression of him?
Ähm, ja, Hiroki
Hiroki
war eigentlich in der
was very
Vorbereitung
good
sehr, sehr
in the
gut für
build-up
diesen.
period.
Das war natürlich
So it
schon
was
sehr schade
such
für
a
uns auch,
shame
dass er
that he
so
was
lange
out for
gefehlt
so
hat,
long,
genauso wie
same as
Stanisic.
Stanisic.
Und schön ist
but,
auch, dass wir das
but
nie als Ausrede
we
genutzt
never
haben oder
used that
gemerkt
as an
haben.
excuse. We
Wir haben einfach weitergemacht, aber
continued
jetzt, dass die
with
anderen
everything.
dabei
But
sind,
now
dann
that they're
spüren wir schon,
back, we can
wir haben die
feel
schon,
that
wir können
we
auch ein bisschen
can
atmen in
take
diesem
a
Bereich, dass da
breather
viel was
in
passiert. Dann haben die Spieler da
because we know that we have
Qualität
a few
und
other
Talent.
players with quality and talent now.
Aber von
But in terms
Fitness
of fitness, it's always
immer schwer zu
difficult to
sagen. Also ich
tell.
habe
Here, I've seen
Hiroki
Hiroki
trainieren sehen
train,
und der
and
ist
he's on
auf
a
ganz
very
gutem
good
Level.
level.
Aber
But
natürlich kann
at
man im Moment nicht schnell ein
but we can't
Freundschaftsspiel
have a friendly
organisieren.
game anytime soon.
Der wird
So
einfach vom
it'll be
Gefühl her
just a
sein, dass
matter
man
of
irgendwann mal sagen
feeling
muss, okay,
when we will
das ist
throw
sein
him
Moment,
in.
aber er ist
But
mal
for
froh,
now,
dass er
I'm
dabei
happy
ist.
that he is there.
Daneben Stefan Kumberger für Sport 1.
Vincent, bisher gab es
Vincent,
auswärts nicht
in away
zu viel zu
games, you've
holen,
had three
3 Niederlagen.
defeats.
Und
Uh,
bei Aston Villa
Away to
und
Aston Villa and in
Rotterdam war ja die
Rotterdam,
Atmosphäre
the
eine ganz
atmosphere
besondere.
was very
Muss die
special.
Mannschaft da vielleicht
Do
noch
you
eine
have
Entwicklung
to, does the
durchlaufen, um
team
diese
have to
Atmosphäre
make
zu überstehen,
a
diese
certain
heiße Phase?
development to be able to cope with that
Ja,
atmosphere?
also
I
ich finde,
think that's
das
okay
ist okay, dass es
to
diese
ask
Frage
that
auch so
question.
gestellt
That
wird,
is a
weil das ist
fact
Fakt
that
und das ist auch
happened.
passiert. Trotzdem
Nevertheless, I
bleibe ich
would like
dabei,
to
dass wir in
say
diesem
that
Moment
we
auch immer sehr gut
always
reagiert haben.
reacted
Das
very
heißt,
well.
danach auch viele
We
Spiele
had a lot
gemacht,
of
viele
away
Auswärtsspiele und
games
haben wir immer
where we
richtig
reacted
reagiert.
right. And
Jetzt
now
ist
it's
es auch
not
nicht
just
nur ein
one
Spiel,
game,
es
we
sind
have
2
two
Spiele, darf man
games.
nie vergessen.
Don't forget that.
Und
And
es ist
it's
immer das
always
Ziel für uns,
our
dass wir
aim
natürlich
to
diese
make
Schritte
these
machen. Und
steps.
ich habe jetzt,
And now
ich
I'm
fange
not
jetzt nicht
going to
an mit
start
einem Gefühl,
with a
dass wir
feeling
Villa
that
oder
we're
Feyenoord
taking
besiegen
Villa
oder
or
so. Das habe
Feyenoord
ich
into
habe das
this
Gefühl,
one.
dass
I
wir
have the
Bremen
impression that we're
mitnehmen
taking
dieses Spiel,
Bremen into
was wir
this one.
gemacht haben und was wir
So what
geleistet
we
haben gegen die
showed
anderen
against
Mannschaften, gegen
so
so
many
viele Mannschaften.
teams. But at the end
Aber
of the
letztendlich,
day,
wir
we're gonna
spielen jetzt zweimal
play two
gegeneinander. Ich
games.
bin
I don't
sicher,
know if
dass das
that will
ein
change
bisschen
anything in
tiefer
terms of
liegt Spiel,
psychology for
aber
this game, but
ja, das gibt
but
immer der eine
there's
oder
there
andere
are
Möglichkeit, weil
always
die müssen auch zu uns kommen
opportunities because they have to come to
und
our place as well, where we have good
In der letzten Reihe Gregor
atmospheres
Kolzner
too.
für den Kicker.
Hallo Herr Kompany, ich grüße Sie.
So
Trotzdem
just
noch mal ganz kurz
want
angeknüpft an die
to
Frage von meinem Kollegen
ask,
vorhin.
I
Ich würde
would
es vielleicht
like
anders
to repeat the
formulieren.
question.
Was
What are
nehmen Sie
you
mit aus dem Spiel
taking
gegen
from the
Rotterdam?
game against Rotterdam? What
Kann man
can
besser
you
machen
do
oder was
better?
haben Sie daraus für
What
die
conclusions did
Relegation,
you
sage ich mal,
draw from
wenn wir
that game
jetzt
for
gegen
this
das nächste
next away
Auswärtsspiel
game?
in der Champions League?
So
hört
it
sich so aus an, als
sounds
ob es nur
like
Counter und
that
Gegentor
we
war. Das
just
ist für
conceded
uns
lots of
natürlich total
goals on the
anders
counters.
entstanden.
but the goals happen in a different way. But it's not that important to discuss this now. But the danger was there. We always felt that Feyenoord on that day, they were in the game, so we could have scored 4 goals ourselves. Don't forget that. So we had the chances, but my hope, but because to make key moments out of that. So that's why I think that's why I'm talking about reaction. So we're talking about one game, and since then we've won everything. So now this will be a different game. That one was 3 months ago, and I understand the question, yes, but because this is Champions League now as well. But I have to find a balance because so that we don't just take one feeling with us, because we did have chances in the Champions League. We did score goals in the Champions League. So we were often the better team in this competition as well. Just winning, that is the goal. But we now have 2 games, so now it's only about Celtic away, and I hope that we will be able to show straight away what we want. 2 games. As a young player, you played here. Do you remember anything? In what kind of an atmosphere do you expect tomorrow? Yes, that was quite an experience boost at the time. I think at home we won 2-0 or 2-1, and for 70 minutes we were down to 10 men. So as a 17-year-old, I came here, thought, yes, we're gonna make it. Had belief. And then reality was different. I think we could have lost 5-0, and even that would have been friendly. But when you become a bit older and you have more experience, and as an experienced player, if I could say where I would like to play as an experienced player, I would say here. But as a young player, it's not that great. So in terms of central defense, Kim and Upa had to play a lot. Now you have alternatives. How is their fitness level now? Do they have to just go over the limits now, or are they fit?
Yeah.
I don't understand the question really. It's no different to any other position. They all play lots of games. I mean, not me, but the players do. So same for our wingers, for our strikers, for our midfielders. It's the same for everyone. So that's why we wanted to have a good squad, a deep squad. So we made changes whenever we could, but we would never talk much about this. We just continue playing, and we'll continue doing that.
We will deal with it.
Vincent, you happy to practice your English as well? Is that okay?
Yes, very much so.
In which case, welcome back.
Thank you.
You were described, not you personally, but Bayern Munich were described by Brendan Rodgers as footballing royalty. How would you describe Celtic, and how dangerous is this first match for you? We know how difficult it will be for Celtic in Munich, but how difficult will it be for Munich here in Glasgow?
I think the club, obviously, both clubs stand, I think, very high in the tradition of the Champions League because of their achievements of the past. I think, for myself, and I think I can imagine that it would be the same for Brendan. I mean, we're all here for the next piece of the history, if you like. So that's our job, that's our role, to try and achieve this next moment for our fans, for the people who are following this our teams. And I think historically, anyone that has a little bit of a deeper understanding of football would understand the home record of Celtic in this competition. And it's not just recent. It's had a period with a little bit less, but I can remember even in my time throughout my career, I can't remember Celtic losing at home in Europe. So it is a fortress. Why and how, and I think these things play out on the night, we'll see. But in the end, we give it the respect it deserves. But that's also, we also have a team who's geared to look forward to big games. So as long as we realize the magnitude of the game, I think there's nobody from our side that will treat this any different to any other top game, and with the sole ambition, of course, to win, because that's the pressure we have as well all the time.
Next one on the left side, yeah, please.
Hi, Vincent. You've played against Brendan Rodgers' teams many times in the past. What do you expect from his Celtic side tomorrow? How do you expect them to approach the game? Do you expect them to be on the front foot? And how much will your previous experience of playing against Brendan's sides help you?
Don't know. I think that the depth of analysis you go into as a coach is slightly different than as a player. The night before, as a player, you go to bed, you phone your wife, and you watch Netflix, and that's it. As a coach, I think I'm appreciating to a different level what all the other colleagues are doing. But in the time, I mean, in those days, what I can remember is it's a coincidence, but my last ever game at the Etihad for Man City was when Brendan was a coach. And I remember it was a must-win game for us, and we didn't have it all our way. And we had a very, very strong team. So already coming to the Etihad with, at that time, a Leicester team where obviously Man City would have been the favourites. They pressed us. They had possession as well, and made it difficult for us to recover the ball. And he's always within his squad design players in the front line with speed and 1v1 ability. He had it at Leicester. He had it at Liverpool, of course. And I'm seeing the same design over here. But then in the end, like I said, it's that's me talking about a colleague, but in reality, it's the players who have got to do the job tomorrow. And it's our players against his players. And they're the ones, they're the ones doing it on the night.
Machen wir noch 3 Fragen, bitte. Yes, please.
Yeah, Vincent, I think the first time you played away from home as a player in the Champions League was actually here at Celtic Park for Anderlecht in 2003. What are your memories of that night?
And the second time away was Bayern Munich.
Oh.
Yeah.
What were your memories of that visit here to Celtic Park? And does this feel like a full circle moment, almost coming back here as a manager?
Full circle would have been if I came here towards the end of my career as a player. I think now as a coach, it's a different career, different players. But like I said, I remember it being a special night. And I don't want to drag too much nostalgia into it, but I think I was fortunate to play poorly, because I remember that Sir Alex Ferguson came to watch me that night. And if I would have played a good game, maybe he might have come in with a bid for me at the time. So I'm really happy that I ended up on the blue side of Manchester. But in the end, it's I was a young player, and that was the first experience for me. And I think later in your career, you sort of, like I said, look forward to these moments. If you can pick moments where you want to play and show your best football, it's those moments. It's obviously tough. That's why the home record is strong from Celtic. But that makes the appetite as well bigger to be in those games.
On the left side, yeah.
Vincent, do you see Arne Engels as the future of the Belgian national team, and how far do you think he can go at club level?
Oh, I can't make any statements for the national team. I think I'm always happy to see Belgian players do well. If I remember well, I think I've seen him even play in the youth teams for Bruges, because when I was in Anderlecht, I used to watch the youth team games a lot. and there was a couple of great talents on both sides, you know, on Bruce's side, but also on Anderlecht's side, and it was always good to watch them and sort of imagine what their progression would be. I think he's 21 now, so he's in the right place. It's the right level. You get a taste of Champions League football. You get a taste of, you know, must-win football in the league as well. I think for young players, sometimes as important as the talent is the pathway, and it doesn't always need to start with the with the top clubs in the world. You know, I think you start with top clubs in different leagues. That gives you that winning mentality. Then you progress if you're ready to progress. But he's got a good pathway, and many of the players from the Belgian generation that did well were actually at his age in similar places. So it's a good starting point for him.
Against Bremen, does he have chances to start tomorrow? And where do you see Josip Stanisic, more as a wing back or more in the center? Well, I will see tomorrow who will play tomorrow. It's important that I know about their qualities. I understand what their profiles are, what their strengths are, and what maybe the weaknesses are, although I don't like to use that word. Maybe say where we have to work a bit more. And I think in terms of how we plan the squad, we never make a decision against the profile. But what's important at the moment is that he is back. He was out for about 4 or 5 months, so it's important that he's back. But it's clear that he can play on the right, that he can play in the center, and Hiroki can play on the left and in the center. Sasha maybe less in the center. Conny Leimer in midfield, but he can also play right back. We talked about Kimmich, he's a midfielder on the right back. We know that he can play on both positions. We know that Serge can play in the center, but he can also play on the wings, left and right. We know all of this. Leroy played much on the right. He can also play on the left, where he scored lots of goals. Rafa Guerrero has even played in midfield, played lots of goals. From there, for us, he plays on as left back. But the puzzle is, it's important what we do for the team to like the whole team, and we always try to do what's right for the individual players. I could continue about the profile of all the other players, but I think you understand.
Aber wir verstehen es schon.